Well, that didn't do anything.
What? Did it?
Didn't look like it did anything there.
Yeah, what the hell? This never happened. Am I going crazy? Is it Goblin live stream? Goblin stream? I swear to God it was Goblin stream. Oh, there we go. And then I'll do... We are doing a multi-stream where you can...
Should pin that to my thing. I'm gonna be a pro. All right, cool. Ba-doop. Hello, everybody. Hopefully, everybody can hear you all right. I should say something again.
Hello.
Crank you up a little bit.
Yeah, can everybody hear everybody else? Can you guys hear Zukin?
Yeah, I might have to do a thing here. Yeah.
We're just doing a little now I know my audience to your audience. I get white banded up here being like, what the fuck is a Zukin? Get out of here.
Alright. Should be good now. Just switch back to my other headset there.
Well, that works. Yeah. Unchained, I heard. That's rough. That's a big day.
And he really hates Mondays, I guess. Damn, as a dark joke, but
Jesus.
like, yeah. Anyway, rest in peace, dude. Did they have a like? How are they doing like Darth Vader voice stuff now? Do they have a? Was there another guy that's doing that already, or doing AI stuff or something?
My guess is they're gonna do some crazy necromancy. They got his voice profile already and everything.
Probably. Tommy Lee Jones will step in. Really? Can you do Darth Vader, or is that just it? Hey Waldo. I need to make my chat thing bigger here. He agreed to allow AI to do his voice. Vader in Obi-Wan was already AI.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know, man. It's something iconic as that. Like, it's kind of bigger than you. And I guess if I was, I feel like if I was if I was in his shoes, maybe I'd be like, yeah, you know, keep Vader going after I'm gone, kind of thing.
He probably got a pretty big check for if he has, I don't know, he has like family or whatever.
As long as it's good quality and stuff, I guess. Because like it's kind of a specific voice too, right?
Yeah.
Like you couldn't really pull it off with like say like when what's his face? Damn, Batman passed away. The Batman, in my opinion.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something so important about voices, like in Splinter Cell they swapped over from Michael Ironside to like a new actor who was also doing all the physical stuff. Like I just didn't buy the game. I it's like this isn't Sam Fisher. This is some other guy, whatever. This isn't Michael Ironside. And then turns out that the only reason he didn't do it was because he was battling cancer at the time. So I mean, I think he won, which is awesome. How's audio on my side? Everybody's in it good?
Ban this dude. You already got him.
Clear. Sounds good.
Hey, red blue thing. Matrix Hunter. Class and cool. It's up in here too. Class and Cool posted a pic of him with that sort of perfection photoshopped into his hand. Got me thinking that maybe that would be something we hand out a file for people to 3D print or something.
Dude, 100%. Holy. Think we would ever give out like I don't know, like the 3D files for our races for people to print off?
Maybe. Not against it. I don't know how well that would work though with like the actual models because of the way we built them.
Hmm. There was I think it was a Japanese game. I think the guy that worked on Lost Odyssey, if I'm correct, they did a full project of just dioramas, and that was like how they built out the world. Was they just built these like these real life dioramas that they 3D scanned.
It's interesting.
It was pretty cool, and it was like re-imported into the game and everything, but I don't know how well that did. I haven't heard much from it.
That dude's coming along. Are you gonna? So you've got it in color right now. Are you just gonna
Probably
put that in
grayscale
color?
it. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
probably just gonna grayscale it, I think.
So I was telling you about I think I told you anyway about the experiment I was doing with that orc and all that stuff, and with the color, like the full color stuff or whatever, as a skin tone. And it turns out, I guess we're still limited. Like the trouble I was having with it was the orc head is its own material ID.
Yeah.
And so I was able to get the body to load in like a full color texture, copy layer, all that shit as like an actual skin option. So like skin option 0 would be the grayscale and it would lerp normally, and then skin option 2 would be, or 1 or whatever, the next one up would
Yeah.
be just a full color, fully painted, all that stuff, and then just on a copy layer. But the problem was the head wasn't loading in the same way. So it seems like if we want to do anything like that, it has to all be on one sheet.
Honestly, I don't have any problem with it being on at least for some of this being on, what's it called, on our LARP system, just because it, like,
That's my girl.
if it was a slightly different game or whatever, or a different art style, then like sure, but our art style is like we use a lot of local color, and you know, not insane amounts of like color variation and stuff like that. So it actually kind of works in our benefit that we're not going too crazy with color variation, except for like specific mobs.
Yeah, I think we'll see how it goes. I guess we could do it with that Squidward guy.
Yeah, Squidward.
Well, actually, no, we can't because the head is on a separate thing. But if that was on one sheet, then that would be a good candidate for that kind of thing. So what we'll have to do, we can still do it in full color. We'll just have to set it up like a, not as a skin tone, as more of like a, just selecting the texture, like a more basic mob or something, which we'll still get the point across. We'll just, any sort of outfits we have to do will have to be a specific texture option.
Yeah. Well, for them, yeah, they're not gonna be wearing much, so, and if they do, they'll be very specific.
Yeah, so it'll still be fine. I was just hoping to like crack that nut, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude,
how's the heat up in California? Bottom California is melting. Yeah, I got the AC running in the background right now. I don't know if you see. You probably hear it a little bit, but it's not too bad today up here anyway. Sounds like it's worse down there right now. Supposedly it's supposed to cool down after this week, though.
there's this you know that feeling when you're doing like textures and like it just feels so much more like worth it to put the effort in when like your texture is mirrored. You get that? It's like I do one side and like you don't have to dread doing the other side. You're like, oh man, this is like like all my work is being doubled essentially. I get that a lot, but especially in this mob where usually with player characters, you know, it doesn't duo, but for like the torso.
Yeah, I think that is that one all mirrored.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think his shawl, he has the shawl. That's probably not mirrored though.
Oh yeah, I don't think that is mirrored. Yeah.
I'm a little bit spoiled though, because like 3D Coat lets you mirror everything regardless.
Even if it's not mirrored?
Yeah, it's like it just mirrors down the model itself, or you can actually put it exactly where you want it to. Like if you want to do an offset mirror or something like that, you can put it wherever you want. So I don't need the UVs to be mirrored for me to mirror stuff.
Yeah.
I think just generally in 3D, like it's a very prevalent thing, right? So I think I'm spoiled to the point of like almost being afraid when I don't have mirror on. I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta go out on my own. Got like my floaties on with mirror on.
Little training wheels. Man, that does sound good though. Might give 3D Code another shake at some point.
I think it would be worthwhile if you wanted to. Even if you still spent like 90% of your time in Photoshop, because like when I was watching you do that merchant gear, and you were like just doing the outline and stuff in the thing, and it looked like it was pretty complicated the way you were doing it. It's like you could just like you could just do that part in 3D Coat and then kick it over to Photoshop, do all the normal stuff you do, and
The I feel like the first like section that I did was like smooth, but then I moved on to something else. I don't remember what it was, and I just had one hell of a time. I was like, this is not lining up the way that I want it to. No, and yeah, so maybe just even using it for like painting in like the base or whatever could help a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how expensive it is for just painting in the base. And mirroring, I guess. Oh, also,
That's my girl.
something that I found out. So you know that little fuzziness that you see in a lot of my screenshots. From if I take a screenshot from Photoshop, there's like a filter that Photoshop puts onto the 3D model, but the texture itself can be the perfectly perfect like crisp pixel. So a lot of it is actually coming from I think a lot of it. There's still a little bit of fuzziness when I don't get like too into the detail. But once I get into the detail, I feel like it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think like I was looking at some of the stuff I've been doing on this guy even, and it's like some of the lines are fuzzy and shit too. I think part of it is like dependent on the pixel density and all that stuff as well. So there's a number of things. So like, I don't know if it was like, blame if it's fair to blame the Photoshop thing or not, but it's hard to tell. I think at the end of the day, as long as the end result is as crisp as we can muster,
Yeah.
it's good.
It's the fine balance as well, because like I don't know, in painting usually like painting is like a combination of like soft edges and hard edges and different texture and all that. but like it feels like for 3D the rule, at least for us, is like no, it's got to be crisp, because it's that the whole ultra HD like packs or whatever that people are putting on like EverQuest and older games and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I feel like EverQuest is like super blurry and people were like chill with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think so some of the stuff is blurry, but at the same time, like there's clarity in like what it is at times. Sometimes it's not. Like um, I've always kind of looked at the ghoul is a good example of like kind of a jumble of stuff, and the the crushable and orc like outfit took me like I always kind of wondered what that material was. Like some of that shit's just unclear. But there are other things that are more clear, and maybe it's just more about the UVs that they actually have a even lower resolution than we do,
Yeah.
to the point where they're just like blasting like a cube from a certain angle, and it gets like a really perfectly flat canvas, and then they just do like a really nice clear and maybe not as much detail.
Yeah, the faces
Texture.
had a lot of detail though.
Yeah.
The faces had that clarity, it felt like, that you're talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, I
Plastic
saved.
Tool says
Oh, go ahead.
he used some wild 4K pack on P99. I think I installed something like that too. But they're all like they've all been like those were all AI upscaled and stuff. So
I feel like I chose like the worst time to stream this guy. I'm like hanging out by his knees and everything, and I did all the cool like gnarly face stuff already. Well, part of the process.
that's how you get the views, man.
Show off the wear rat knees.
I'm sure that's a fetish somewhere.
Like, oh man. Okay, I mean, not to take this stream in a hilariously. Have you guys heard of? I think it was Big Knee Lover. Oh, dude, I need I need to fucking show you guys. I can't even. This is not good. Alright, I need to check to see just in case, like, if there's. Alright. Here we go. Oh, this is so weird. Big Knee Lover on DeviantArt.
What the fuck?
I can't even.
Uh,
Oh, it's so.
I was being facetious, but you've really found it.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm leaving. Oh, holy shit. I can't believe that account's still up, dude. I fucking cannot believe it.
Yeah, like how do you even like? What do you do about something like that? It's not really sexually explicit. It's just really weird. It makes everyone uncomfortable.
I can't. Oh god. It's like there's something like hilarious about like old DeviantArt profiles. There's like, or just like really fucking uh what is it called, like just hard to find like rare weird things on the internet. Like there's this guy on YouTube. I was looking for like a Costco hot dog review. I don't know why. I was looking for a Costco hot dog review, but I found this guy that dedicated his channel to just eating food incorrectly. Like just so wrong in every way. Like he took a burger and like ate it like one layer at a time. Like the top bun, then the pickle, then the cheese. I was like, what am I fucking watching? This is some weird like fetish shit. What is going on?
Sounds more like rage bait, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it was, to be honest. But it was like if if this is like the Costco hot dog, he like took a bite like that.
Just in the middle.
Yeah, and then just like ate through it, kind of like a corn on the cob. It was just so weird.
Internet's a weird place.
Internet is a weird place. Showing him gaming reminds me of when I was a kid. I would peel the skin off the chicken nugs, eat it, then dip the skinless chicken nuggets into the sauce.
That doesn't sound too wild though. Like, I don't know.
That's Eric Cartman eating all the skin off the KFC. Anyway, Jesus Christ. Sorry for bringing that up. Fuck. One thing leads to another. Get back on track. Jeez.
Those look like they are sticking out now, scales. Yeah, so I kind of went through and I painted like just a kind of a light side and a dark side. Very flat. And now what I'm doing is I'm going back through. I have this gradient map as well I built for the red, and I'm going through them, adding some more shadow, like highlights and shadows on all of them to like make them more 3D and try and capture some of the form of the overall guy. So you can see right here, on the shoulder, I tried to capture a little bit more highlight, and then it kind of swoops into like a little bit of a shadow underneath that muscle in an attempt to try and get kind of a shoulder to it. And same on the thighs and all that thing.
That looks really good.
Side of the back, all that sort of thing. But you can see the difference here. Like if we look, all that I have left is the tail here, but you can see how flat these guys are versus like just these ones next to it. So it's coming along. I think he's coming along pretty well. It's just a lot of time, but I think it's at least feels like it's worth it, you know. I need to do a whole thing with the head as well to match the rest of the stuff.
Okay, so for like in the future though, please tell me you're gonna like just, if there's like a dragon or something, you're gonna like take the shoulder and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna copy this section out, paste it in, hopefully it works out a little bit, do some finagling or whatever with Photoshop's like transform.
Well, you know, the method that Zach kind of got me into, that I started using on this one as well, that is probably a better way to do it, is to have just a couple scales individually that I can slot in. So like have them all pre-rendered individually, you know, and then slot them in one by one in Photoshop or something, and then what you do is like I think the optimal method might be, um, do like some grid lines to kind of figure out the flow of everything, and then place in the scales individually, and then you'll have like all of them laid out and all rendered already,
Yeah,
and then you just do touch ups from there.
I can see
That
that.
that would
Yeah, yeah.
that would have been. I wish I had thought about that or whatever, from the start, because that would have probably sped up this whole thing. I think someone's at the door. I need to check on that real quick.
Yes, I'm in control of zukansculpts at the moment now. Unless he muted me. Whoa, it's my favorite Eminem streamer. You mean Zukin, right, Senior Angus? Was that the joke? Because we're dual streaming? Very funny. Very funny, Senior Angus. Those calves look pretty good. Jesus, that's messed up. Showing them what the fuck. Is the multi-stream thing pinned for everybody, by the way? I just want to double check. Make sure it's all pinned. They're cheating then. Okay, so the question is, do I want this hair to go all the way down, or I don't quite know what the best call is here. Let's just get everything else figured out. Oh, but yeah, the haven't actually shown much of it, but the Were-Rat has gotten a facelift. Yeah, there it is. We're gonna have two rat people, or rat guys. So we have the were rats, which are these guys, and we're gonna have rat men as well. So that's gonna be good. They are different. Yeah, well, I spent some time on it to get rid of it, but just chill out, guys. There, fixed it. Will the were rat transform so you may think it's a normal rat first? Oh shit. I never thought of that. I was only always under the impression that it would be like a human that turns into a rat, but maybe there is like a situation where a bunch of rats just turn into were rats at like night or something. Can fucking Jesus Christ, Senior Angus? I'm sorry. It's just I can't. I can't. I can't let you do that. I just get out of here. I'm a mod on zukansculpts too. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, that is so funny. I have too much fun with low to medium amounts of power. Do not trust me. Yo, moon phases. That's kind of cool. Like maybe like you literally just did the meme. Like why not both? That's cool as fuck. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I may bring that up.
I'm back.
Sorry, I had to enforce my iron law onto Senior Angus.
Oh snap! You deleted him from my chat. That's going after him in other people's streams now.
Yeah.
Is no place safe?
Well, he came to you to be like, please get me unbanned from Goblin's chat. Yeah, he did deserve it.
Hey.
I was like, you think you can go to zukansculpts?
He's over here looking for asylum, and you're just like, yeah. Nah, crossing borders.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
He'll serve his sentence.
But yeah, so I got this. The only thing that kind of stinks is the gradient map doesn't transfer to 3D Coat. So what I have to do is basically save out a new like a copy layer of it
Hmm.
and kind of look at it because like you can look at it and paint in it in Photoshop, but like I don't know, I like to see it on the model to like really get an idea of like how it's looking, especially when stuff's like mirrored and things. So a little bit of it. I mean, it's just a teeny workaround and it works. So it would be great. I don't know why they don't have the ability to do grading maps in this.
Send a complaint request.
Sure, they'll get right on it. That would be something. If that was in like a new version, that would be make it worthwhile to upgrade. But otherwise, I'm happy with this older version I have.
There's this program that I use still. It was called Aggie, but we've used it, Magma Studio, where we can like draw on the same canvas or whatever. And
yeah, you can see that. My possum. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. You never played EQ, correct? I never did. Well, I didn't play EQ during the time that everybody else played it. I gave it a 2-hour shake on the modern version or whatever, and I was like, whatever it was before, I don't think this is it anymore. And then I stopped after a couple hours. So that's like the EQ that's on Steam or whatever.
Oh, yeah, if you tried modern EQ, that's nothing like.
Yeah.
Sorry, I totally cut you off. Were you talking about Magma or something?
Oh yeah. Magma. One of the my friend uses it a lot, like a lot, to the point where I think they're probably the most like active users, one of the most active users on Magma, which is a lot. But they reached out for like an interview or whatever, just to get like an idea of what the users might want, and that sort of thing. And he made some suggestions, but then also sent them over to me to make some suggestions. And I don't know if they got to it, but we were able to get like direct feedback with the developers, which was kind of cool.
That's cool.
Oh, and another thing, which was someone on my chat mentioned that it might be cool if were-rats had like a, you know how like they're human and like at night or whatever the were-rat comes out. If there was like a section or like a certain moon cycle or something where they turn into a rat, and then like they become a were-rat instead. So there's like a three-way sort of like trans.
Like just a regular rat that turns into a were-rat.
Yeah. So you're like you think you're fighting rats.
Is there something else? Is there another type of like were creature that's something else like a? Or am I just getting confused with Worgen for some reason? Because I wonder if there's like a maybe I'm thinking of like a dire thing. What if there was like another thing where it's like a dire rat or something turn into a dire rat?
Yeah, like I think I'm just like leaning into that because I like that idea enough where I'm like, hey, is there enough like moon cycles where like maybe every once in a while, like every like 30 days or something like that, like a moon cycle happens and they turn into rats instead? And you're like, wait, I thought this camp was this. It's just
Oh,
a
I see. Yeah,
bunch
yeah,
of like
that'd be
rats.
cool. I'm curious how far we go with that moon cycle stuff.
Yeah, you guys are saying um, live and TLPs are not good for EQ, and I had the impression that that was the case, that it wasn't like the same. That back then I had the impression. Now I'm very aware that live EQ is like is looked down upon as like retail WoW almost.
I don't know why my pin message went away. Site. You can set a timer on it or something. Are you still playing EQ2 these days? Nah, man. I kind of. I don't know. I kind of. I went to like. I wanted to play with Nathan and his gang, but he was kind of out sick, and I sort of um I was playing a healer, so I couldn't really do anything on my own. I was just kind of like, meh. I should probably just spend my time working on Eminem anyway, so just
Dude,
didn't
that's
work out.
how I feel anytime like I come across like spare time to like do game stuff or whatever, like actually play a game. Kind of go like, yeah, but like I could have used this time and have been done a texture, you know, or something like that. So maybe that's unhealthy. I don't know, but
Yeah, I think it's difficult when it comes to MMOs, but I think like a single player game, it's easy to be like, I'll just play tonight. You know, I picked up Dungeon Siege 1. I like installed that and I was playing a little bit last week or something, and man, that game slaps still. Like I don't know, like I think it's probably pure nostalgia for me because like I played it as a kid, but um I don't know, it's something about that game and the way they built that world. It's so basic and generic, but it's just ignites something in me. I love it.
dude, I love generic, man. You know
I was
me,
look,
I love generic.
I was looking at the textures actually because like you know after all the stuff we've gone through, it's like I wonder how they did this stuff because they have a lot of options, but their helmets are just these dumb buckets on their head. It's so silly. But in terms of like, because like, so you make your character. There, in the first game, there's no race options. It's human, but you can be a male or female, and you pick your outfit. It's just like your skin texture, which is just like clothing.
Yeah.
So they actually have 10 pairs of pants and 10 shirts that you can pick from. You can just mix and match all of those, and then
Oh, cool.
that's your character. And then there's like a couple faces too. Um, I didn't count how many of those are, but I was like, damn, that's kind of a lot for like just like the underwear layer that you'll never see again unless you die, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was like, I kind of put a lot of effort into that. It's interesting. It's a game where you when you die, you lose your spell book too. By the way,
Oh, that's sick.
I picked up Hades and Hades 2 based on your recommendation and the music. Very impressed. Yeah, I don't know if I beat that game yet. Like I got as far as getting out of the gate into, I think I got to the surface world, but then there's like the final fight, which I got trashed. I got trashed on, and I was like, I don't know if I can make it back there anymore. So I don't know what else is beyond that point. I don't know if that is kind of the end of the game or not, but music is definitely great. I just kind of never played it again after that. I was like, I beat the game as far as I'm concerned. Maybe I'll go back to it at some point. But... You ever play CRPGs? What's CRPG? I feel like I should know what that is.
Card role-playing games? Chinese role-playing games?
Oh, maybe it's a card game, yeah.
Okay. Unrelated, sort of, but speaking of fucking... There's this fucking video, and I swear to God, it was like 2000 and... I don't know, it was like 2000, like... It was like when YouTube essentially just sort of like came out. But there is this game for original Xbox called Iron Phoenix, and it was cool. It was this like 16 person beat 'em up sort of game where there'd be 8 players on one side, 8 players on the other, and you'd all have like these cool fucking combos. And the combos could be like tagged in with other people for like multi-people combos, so there's like teamwork involved, and you built up your special, and there was all these different, there was like 9 different weapons or something, you know, and they all played and had their own like uses. It was cool as hell, and it was like sort of this feudal dark fantasy China, and there was a bunch of zombies, and anyway, it was cool as hell. But the game was essentially just an arena. There was no story mode, there was no anything. And I was looking online, like, I don't know, my young self was looking online, and I found that exact game, like the exact game, animations, all the player move sets, I think they changed the player models and some of the levels, was just like the exact same as like this other game in China. And I'm like, who ripped off who? Wait, what? was it Sega that ripped off this Chinese game that's like super niche and just wanted to see if it worked, or was it this Chinese game that was like, dude, fucking free real estate? Like, take that. So I don't know. Fuck. I wish there was someone. Maybe I should do some internet sleuthing. From YouTube, Kip Geardry says, any chances of a sneak peek at Trolls? We're not doing Trolls yet.
I feel like we've already done a sneak peek of them. I think there might be stuff floating around.
Oh, yeah.
You're savvy enough to dig it up.
Yeah, go find it.
We're not actively working on them right now. It would be cool to be able to, like, I have hope that we will be able to, like, find a way to, because I kind of feel like right now we have some stuff that there's some sort of technical hurdles and sort of getting caught up on, like, getting things up to the latest version of what we're trying to do. But after we get all that stuff sorted out, I'm kind of hoping that maybe we'll be able to kind of pull a bit of a hat trick and get more stuff than we promised. But we'll see how it goes. I won't promise more. But I don't know. We'll see. There's my hope is that, but the reality is stuff always kind of gets in the way. So it'd be cool though. We'll see. Waldo says classic. So the CRPG is classic role-playing games like Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, Planescape, Pillars of Eternity, or computer role-playing games. That's probably what I was thinking of. So it was a familiar acronym, but I don't think anybody really uses CRPG anymore for like computer role-playing. Guess the difference is like tabletop, but yeah. Anyway, my brother was really into Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale and Planescape, so I watched him play those. But I never really got into those myself as actually playing them. Like I've tried a couple times to get into Baldur's Gate because it actually looks like a cool game, and I want to get into that and try it and that sort of thing. But my dumb brain doesn't like that much reading. I like to murder things. I don't like to do as much of the reading and the storytelling stuff. So that kind of always, I don't know. I just never went back to them after some of that stuff. Or maybe it's just the story wasn't gripping enough, because I actually did get all the way through Neverwinter Nights, and I really enjoyed that game, story and all. I think it's because the story was so compelling for that one that kind of kept me coming back. I think, yeah, that's probably the only like sort of turn-based kind of tactical RPG of that type that I got into, Neverwinter Nights, that I actually beat. But other than that, it's like a lot of Diablo-esque type games, like Nox I really liked, and the Diablo games, of course. And I think the Dungeon Siege games fall into that category as well. It's the same sort of thing.
A guy remade Final Fantasy 1 with all the classes and new quests to get them. I got about halfway in the game, and dude, Final Fantasy 1 remake, can you post that in my channel, please? I'd like to see that. That's something I think I'll always want to do at some point. Maybe once I have more like, I don't know, free time and less pressure to do, like work and succeed in the industry, that sort of thing. Like I feel like I'd want to do like an art mod for like one of the Final Fantasy games. Just replace all the art. Like a skin of it.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was doing before I joined the M&M team. I was working on that EverQuest Unity project. I was planning on like doing high res versions of all the models and everything.
Dude.
Or at least upscaled version, not like high res, but I don't know, whatever it wound up being, I guess.
And the M&M guys robbed EverQuest of a...
Yeah, but like you said, like part of the problem is, I mean, the two issues were, number one, there's no money in that, and I would be sacrificing both working on my personal portfolio to further my career, as well as that would be my hobby that I would be doing. So you'd have to be in a specific place in your life to be comfortable with that, I guess.
Yeah.
I wasn't really there. so didn't really make a ton of sense from that standpoint. But also, like, the kind of working on those models, you're locked into some of the things that already exist. Like imagine trying to model a thing and then you're not allowed to change the UVs.
Ooh.
And imagine those UVs were made 20 years ago with like older tech. So it's like it's a challenge.
I mean, at some point, that just kind of becomes the style. Like, you kind of like accept it, the limitations of the tech or whatever. But
yeah,
I can.
It's not unachievable. It would have been a lot of effort. It's doable. Just I don't know. I think it would have been easier. It's always easier to just like make new shit, right? And that's kind of what part of the draw with Eminem was like. Oh, it's a new thing. We can start from scratch and like do it a different way. And I'm not beholden to having to keep the UVs a certain way or something.
Yeah.
So UVs are a pain in the ass.
I wonder what the World of Warcraft workflow is. I think that would be cool to try out at some point, just to sort of test, you know, like just making content for that and see how it goes. Be interesting. Because their UVs were, especially recently, the new stuff feels like really good.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. When I started working on M&M, I looked up I tried to dig up a model. I actually got my hands on the classic human from WoW, and like the way they did their UVs is pretty good. They got everything on one sheet, but the problem is, it's all mirrored. So that's what we gave up, right? That's why we have our head on a different thing, is because we opted to have asymmetry.
Yeah, asymmetry, and also theirs was like super boxed too, so eventually people end up like kind of, or I feel like their armor design and stuff ended up looking like, I don't know, a little bit too like, what's the right word, like abstract, you know. Vanilla textures look really good, but I feel like
it seems like they emphasized the focus of your eye on shoulder pads in the helmet and like more silhouette stuff. Like the actual design on the chest was just kind of noise.
Yep, exactly.
And then a lot of the kind of eye gripping stuff is like big shoulder pads, and then they have like the glove silhouette and the boot silhouette, and just all that stuff. So it's like more, it's like almost the texture is kind of almost irrelevant. It's just like colors. That's why they can kind of get away with that, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it fits their style fucking awesome though, because like when I'm going through that, I'm not thinking, this isn't a realistic chain, you know, or whatever, you know, like fucking you go through all the chain and you're like, what about this says chain? Like I have no idea. Their chain doesn't represent chain at all or anything. It's just items with colors and shapes and stuff. But yeah, and then the emphasis on the shoulders, and that's why their emphasis was like, it's like hat, shoulders are like their silhouettes that they get to play with. I guess eventually they ended up like pulling into like some new like special like boots and what's it called, and I think they had like a couple different like arm slots or gloves as well, but yeah.
I'm not familiar with the a lot of the new stuff.
They got some
But
cool stuff, yeah.
some
Cool
of
new
the
stuff.
I like some of the models and stuff from like just from what I've seen of this new expansion and all like the streams and videos and stuff like those hero models at least they look pretty nice. So definitely a specific, almost kind of like Disney or Pixar-y style. Um,
Yeah.
they look clean. It's nice.
They used to feel like lost their
It's
grit.
not Warcraft.
Yeah.
No, like what it used to be.
Like just looking at their, like, you can look at their like knoll and be like oh, that looks like a knoll, but then you compare it to their old knoll, and the old knoll is like fucking high contrast gnarled fucking like black lips with shiny gloss on them, and it's looks super sick. And they're like, yeah, I really like their old knolls a whole lot more than their new knolls, but their new knolls do look fucking good. Like, it's not.
Yeah, I think like Fear Box is saying a high contrast. I think that
Yeah.
was kind of a thing. Um, just in general, because if you think about the EverQuest stuff too, like it's pretty similar, like in design, the more saturated colors and um, that sort of thing, where it's kind of a focus on silhouette to a certain extent of just like getting the large shapes, the blocks of color in, and the detail. Although I think EverQuest probably has they used a lot of like not photorealistic, but like kind of close to photoreal esque level of detail of things, which filled in that
Yeah.
sort of negative space. But
I wonder. Oh, you got some fucking tier 1 subs, dude.
oh shit, Snail Juice with 5 tier 1 gift subs. Thanks, man. Scruffy Bard, Evil Kitten, Flintlock Pixel. Hey, it's Radar. Hey, or Raider, I should say, just Ray. How you doing, man? And 3PO. Someone was saying something up there too. I wanted to mention. Unchained says, "Have you seen or played Dungeon Master 1987?" I have not seen that. Um, this looks like So I haven't played this specific game, but this instantly reminds me of the other one, because there's a lot of games that are this sort of format where it's like a dungeon crawly first person thing. What was that big one that was Might and Magic? Was it Might and Magic? Might and Magic 7 or something? Whichever one this one is. 6. Might and Magic 6.
Legend of Grim
Grimrock.
Yeah, Grimrock, I think, was also one of them.
Yeah, I have those ones too. I haven't played them a bunch though, but this one was cool. I don't think I got very far on these ones, but something about these it's pretty cool.
Something that I actually wonder, a little bit going back to the WoW, like the contrast thing, is something that I noticed with the low level stuff for vanilla WoW, at least, is they're very low contrast. And then the further you get up in your gear, the more high contrast your gear looks. And then eventually, instead of switching from high contrast, they kind of start introducing like more like color or more color and saturation. And a part of me is wondering, like, maybe that like flow chart of like power gain, like visual power gain, is actually what, I mean, I think I think EverQuest probably did a little bit of that from what I've seen. But maybe that like, hey, this powerful thing is super red and cool, or whatever. Um, being like dragon armor or whatever, right? Maybe that is kind of what led to World of Warcraft just, being like a little bit too cartoony, too not cartoony, but like abstract shapes of random stuff. I'm wondering, like, what if you started with like really saturated and you just kind of devalued that right from the get-go, and it's all about just looking specifically cool in whatever you can find. I don't know if that's the right way of thinking about it, but thought experiment, I guess.
I think the progression for EverQuest, at least for the trilogy, like classic to um, Velius, I think that progression, it might be different because in all of those years of those expansions and all that, and all those levels, the armor that you got was still limited by the texture. They only had, like, what was it? They had leather, chain, plate. That was it. You had one set. So if you were a barbarian warrior, you'd get a leather set. It would always look that same way, no matter what it was. If it was a leather set, it would always look like that one leather set.
Hmm.
And all barbarians had that. So, and then if you upgraded to chain, same thing. And then plate, obviously the same thing. So you only ever looked a certain way. Um, and the way they differentiated that to get more was just through tints, but there was also each class got their custom texture set, right? So it wasn't like within your own little sphere, like your own little self,
Hmm.
you're pretty limited. But through the fact that all the races, when you see other people running around, they look different. They always look different because they can never look like you. um I think it distracted from that. It didn't make you feel like everybody always looked the same. I think that's a very interesting thought experiment. Actually, it's kind of breaking down how that works because they were so limited. Like, and even the tints and stuff. Um, I you'd have to actually go
That's
through and see how much they actually used it, because I don't think they used it like a ton because of the way it was. It was very primitive tinting, and it kind of destroyed the texture a bit. So it was only like maybe more of the high end stuff. So like 1 to 40, like maybe 30 or 40 when you start getting like the bronze armor or something is when you maybe start seeing some of that stuff. Um, so like those first 30 levels, everyone's wearing the same just basic textures and stuff. So it's
I
kind of
wonder
interesting.
I wonder how that actually plays in, because like how many like class overlaps did you ever get? Like, if you're saying there, was it class or race specific like
It's
textures?
race and gender specific. So like barbarian male has 3 custom sets. Barbarian female has 3 custom sets.
I see, I see.
But it was like just based purely on the armor class. Um,
Because I wonder, just because like that makes a whole lot of, if it was class, it makes a whole lot of sense, that different classes would be playing with each other, and therefore you wouldn't really see, like something that looks like you, because you look like your class. But if it was race, then it's a little bit different.
right. Yeah. So if you were in a group and you had like 2 Shadow Knights, you had a Troll Shadow Knight and like a Dark Elf Shadow Knight, they would look pretty different.
Yeah.
Because like even like even those two, like, let's say you have the let me pull it up. I think it's the leather. The Dark Elf leather it's blue. It's not even like a brown. Like it's a totally different color.
Yeah.
And then the troll troll leather is like a raggedy brown. Like it doesn't even cover him entirely. So like it's like just those two same class, same armor, drastic like different looks. It's kind of interesting.
I think we need to play into some of that with our itemization. You know, once we have like full, what's it called? Once we have like our full game released or whatever, and you know, people are choosing a goblin, and they're doing like they're hanging out by the goblin, doing the goblin newbie zone stuff, like not newbie zone, but just like that area around it, having like goblinish gear versus like having like you know, like a deep elf or something, where the deep elf has like their gear or whatever that they would sort of luck into. The same thing, like going, if someone wants like, you know, Night Harbor gear, they'd go there and they'd get like sort of Night Harbor-ish themed stuff. I feel like that would be cool as
Yeah,
fuck.
I think the so what I'm hoping that we'll be able to do is first, in order to even do that, we need those textures.
Yeah.
And what I'm hoping that we'll be able to do is have those textures, and then since we're doing like region-based stuff, you know, we could have like the goblin chain. You know, you get it in the goblin area, and if you're a goblin, you'll just get it naturally. But
Yeah.
if you wander over as like an ogre, and then you pick that stuff up, you'll look like I don't. So that's the thing. Like, does that make sense to like you start looking like the guys you're hanging out with, kind of thing?
I love that because it makes like it you're like fashion questing it up at that point, you know? Like people are like, dude, the trolls look so cool. I'm gonna go hang out with the trolls, even though I'm blank, because I want to see what the troll gear will look like, and maybe there's like, I don't know, maybe there's like a whole trade system with that too, because I'd imagine some like Night Harbor being this hub is probably gonna end up getting like all these other pieces of gear from people that eventually travel there, and it becomes more eclectic and cosmopolitan as we want it to.
Yeah, I think it's the part where people start mixing around with each other of the different cultures where it starts to get interesting. I guess I'm just like, and maybe I'm overthinking it and it's a non-issue, but like in those early stages, and you'd have to actually, it would take a lot of effort actually, I think, to get to another location at a low level, to be able to start to integrate with the culture. And
Yeah.
then, but like, I don't know if that would take away from it or not. But maybe the fact that it would be so rare that it's a non-issue.
Well, and you know, like, fuck, our closest zone right now, like, you'd have to weasel your way through Night Harbor to get all the way to like Califrey, right? And it's like just to get that gear set or that sort of gear that's dropped in. You know, that's, I like that. I think that's cool as hell.
Yeah. Well, anyway, though, so this is kind of a collage of people in chainmail, and this is all just regular chain. You can see just wide how wide the spectrum is in terms of looks of just the same. Because like
Yeah.
if everybody just put like regular chainmail on, they'd all look different, right? So it's pretty cool. Makes you
It adds to race identity a lot.
yeah. So yeah, so that's I don't know if that's I wonder how that would impact things like I think one way we can ensure that there is still some race identity is putting race locks on gear and putting those particular gears things on.
Oh, that would be cool too.
Yeah, so I don't know, man.
Maybe
Like
maybe reputation based or something.
it feels like a tricky balance though, right? Because like, okay, if we are we itemizing in order to incentivize people to look a certain way based on identity, or are we making um we're making a cool widespread set of stuff, and then people can kind of do whatever they want? But then are we going to end up with kind of consolidation? What's the word? When everybody looks the same. So that would kind of suck too. I think if everybody looked the same, it's like best in slot shit. You know? I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like the sick answer for this is like making it harder with like rep or something, rep grinds. It's like, you know, uh
Well,
because
you
you
know,
are a certain rep, with like goblins, but you're never gonna get fucking be able to wear this gnome thing because
well, actually, you know what? I think a good way to do it, kind of in sort of what you're saying, is having the same equipment like multiple times. Like, you know how we'll have regional
yeah,
armor. It's
yeah.
just like, okay, you can get the the goblin chainmail is equivalent in stats to the troll chainmail, so there's no best in slot that forces everybody into one look. I think that's probably the best way to do it. And
Yeah,
then you still have the option to like look like a troll trying to fit into a goblin t-shirt or something.
I like that. I like that a lot. And then I'd imagine that there'd just be certain pieces that we could do, rep grinds or whatever for, or like rep,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I
like a
mean, if
sword or
like
something.
right. Yeah, it's like you can still get your hands on this stuff, but you're gonna have to do a little bit more work to get it. I think that's fair.
And then when people see you with like a cool dwarven sword as like a fucking elf or as like a goblin, you go, holy shit, that guy knows what's up. Like it's kind of like a status symbol where you're like, okay, that goblin is either, like a cool with us, or maybe has like this item that you can get or whatever that's stolen from something. And so it's like I feel like you could do some really cool stuff with that where items mean something beyond just stats, where it's like it entails like a certain type of rep, and
Yeah.
especially combined with like different faction stuff where you're like, yeah.
Yeah, in EverQuest, I made a troll beast lord, and I ran over to the wood elf town and I started murdering orcs. And I murdered so many orcs that I could take the elevator up into town without being murdered. The merchants still wouldn't sell to me, but I could run around town anyway. Pretty cool.
How much would you need to do for the merchants to sell to you, or is that just not achievable?
So they're on a different faction than like the guards and that sort of thing. I don't know. I'm sure it's probably doable. Um, I don't know who I'd have to kill, or if it's just more orcs and just significantly more.
Show me
But
who to kill. I will do it.
yeah, I think there should always be a method to obtaining that sort of thing.
Yeah, because it lets people sink some time into something for something really cool and rare that gives them a little bit of like social like equity almost.
People
They're
like grinding that shit. There's
yeah.
one guy on the P99 server I heard about who he set out to become maxed out on every faction that he could in game,
Whoa.
every single one.
How does that
Um,
even work? Oh, do they not have like zero sum games?
yeah, I don't know. I think there's got to be somewhere like when you try to faction up with one, it lowers the other, so it's probably impossible. But I don't know. I didn't look into it, in great detail. I just kind of vaguely remember this, but yeah. Fearbox says you could always get dubiously but I don't think you could ever shop with GFA merchants. Okay. Do you know if there's Fearbox? Do you know if there's a way to like? I guess if you could up it, then you could achieve that. So maybe it's not possible. I think having factions that where there's no way to get it up, haha, get it up. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like there should always be a way, because like why is there a faction that just there's no way to make them happy? Like that seems weird.
Maybe orcs. It makes sense for
I I mean
our orcs.
I guess so. Maybe I don't know. I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
Can you faction with orcs in EverQuest?
Um, Probably. I know the Dark Elves are friendly with the Crushbone orcs because they're trying to. So a little bit of lore here.
Sick.
The 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 Dark Elves and the Crushbone orcs, or at least the Dark Elves are trying to help the Crushbone orcs because they want to take over or kill all the good elves, right? So they have an ambassador. Actually, there's an NPC in the castle in Crushbone that like sits behind the king of the orcs there, um, and he's kind of like Wormtongue from
Oh, sick.
Lord of the Rings. He's just like advising the orc um, King Crush or whatever, the Emperor as he's known. Um, so there's a little, and when you kill the orcs, you're actually losing faction with the dark elves too. So if you go over there as a
Oh.
dark elf and kill those guys, you're kind of screwing your faction with your own buds. Ambassador Devine, yeah, that dude's a high level dude too. He's like a level 19, something like that. In you know, uh, level 16 or so is probably when you check out on the orcs. 23. Oh shit, he's that low high level? Yeah, man, he'll fuck you up. Yeah, I love Crushbone though. I don't care. Like, I always went to Crushbone. Um, Crushbone and Fade War in general is like one of my favorite places.
What?
Ooh, a Spyro color Drake. You got it, dude. I don't know if that's gonna be in game, but I'll do that for fun. I'm definitely a Spyro fan. Orc Hill, Crushbone, Unrest, Mistmore. Mistmore Castle entrance is probably one of my favorite camps in the game. Especially well as an enchanter specifically, but just in general. Um, what a fantastic place! Mistmore, Crushbone, Mistmore, and the whole some of the best dungeoning in the game, in my opinion. I think Delner's is Delner's tomb or whatever downers, whatever type of dungeon it is. I think that one's really cool too, but that one's not very popular. Downers Crypt, yeah. What's your favorite zone based on your skills that make you go, ah, good job, boys? So I had the hole is one because that's such a really fun thing because it's so dangerous. I mean, actually, it's not that dangerous, but it feels more dangerous than maybe it is because getting it, the difficulty of getting in and out of that place is such a high bar, especially when you get to the bottom, right? It's like it's almost like it feels like a suicide mission sometimes because it's like there's no way out. You know, we're doing this or we're dying kind of thing. But actually, one of the coolest moments I had was in shoot, what's it called? What's the dungeon with the undead dragon in it and the undead bard? Tracking on. What's that one? Sebalus. Sebalus is kind of like the hole in that regard, where it's like, it's so dangerous. The deeper you go, it feels like it's like you're a ride or die kind of thing. I feel like that builds a lot of camaraderie with that sort of thing, where it's just like, guys, we're doing this, or we're all fucked, you know. And I remember there was this one, I forget, we were doing that one camp where it's got the 4 tombs, 4 named, with the little stairs in the middle. And it's like, I think it's beyond the locked door. So you need a rogue to lock the door to even get there, and then you're locked in. And we had a bad pull. It might be disco. Is disco with froglocks or is disco with undead? Because it was the undead and golem one. I forget the name of the camp. But anyway, we had some bad pull. We got like a bunch of golems. There was like 8 of them or something. It was like a lot of them. And I was on my enchanter, and I slapped down that AoE stun, and I just started mez and shit. And I was like trying to get on a rotation, and I was holding it together pretty well for most of it. And then I had my low level mez loaded because it was just more mana efficient. But I couldn't keep up the time rotation on it. So eventually I missed a remez, and one of them got loose and beat me to death, and I went down. But it was pretty badass to like derail a train like that. And I was so close. We were so close to, because like everyone was like, we're fucked, we're dead, and then you just kind of that's why I like the enchanter, because it's like everyone's like running around screaming like chickens with their heads cut off, and you're like, I got this, guys, and you can like save the group in that way. That's why I play enchanter for moments like that. And if I had a longer charm, like what you got to do is have 2 mezzes loaded. I should have done, like, that's what I learned from that experience, is you got to have 2 mezzes loaded, low level one and a high level one, and then when shit gets real, you bust out that longer mez. why is the Chanter so OP in M&M? Because it's fun, bro.
Already we're getting was it favoritism claims?
Yeah.
Accusations. But I mean, my class is going to be the most powerful. It's actually going to be second most powerful after Nick's favorite class. So.
What's yours, Shaman?
Yeah, I have no idea how strong they are or anything. I just like saying it.
Shaman were actually one of the more OP classes in EverQuest, so it wouldn't even be a shock.
Dude, Shaman.
Like, so Shaman and EverQuest, they were a priest class, right?
That's my girl.
They were the weakest healer of all three healers. However, they had the slow, right? And we have those two. And they had the best slows, and that was the game changer. And in addition to that, at max level, they actually got the strongest heal, one of the strongest heals, Torpor, where it regenerated like 300 or 400 health every second for like I don't know how long. So you could like top somebody off, and they wouldn't be taking a ton of damage because they'd be slowed, like you slow the enemy. So this kind of basically all that shit combined, like a shaman could solo like raid content with their little wolf pet. So they would just slow the dude, slow the whatever. Like I saw someone do some of the frost giants or something by themselves. They just slow the giants and send their pet in there and just pour the pet. And they did some decent damage, like with their melee weapon even and their dots. So they could do tons of shit. And then I found out this. I don't know how many of you guys out there are aware of this, but I found out that there's a clicky, some sort of like amulet where it's like shaman only, and it's like a clicky feign death. So on top of all the shit they already get, they also get a feign death, which is outrageous.
Is that clicky hard to get?
Yeah, I think you need to raid for it or something. And it's only got 2 charges, but the fact that they get it at all. Yeah, it's Plane of Sky. Like, it doesn't matter if it's difficult. It's something that they can get, right?
Dude, I just know from what I've played with like M&M Shaman, fucking love it. Like buffing people, it's fucking one of my favorite things.
That's generally their specialty, buffing. I feel like I missed a question or something. Oh, I think I was going to respond to Fielder. Fielder says, "You're a good enchanter. You held our unrest group together even when he was pulling." Hey, man. I think I confused you and Rupo. I feel like I grouped with Rupo at some point, and I thought that was at unrest, but maybe I grouped with both you guys at some point, separate instances. Souther was a good and unlawful enchanter. You know if there is any real pro or con does. I'm not sure yet. I think that might just be like lore related at the moment, but maybe there'll be more reasons to do one or the other at some point.
Is that sort of like a way to differentiate between, like, I don't know, like a nice goody two shoes like elf enchanter, human enchanter, or whatever? Like because we have fucking goblin enchanters and deep elf enchanters and stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I hadn't thought too much about it, but if you kind of the more I think about it, because like one of the initial concepts you'd done with the enchanter, I was all up in arms about because I was like, no, they're supposed to be like cool, good guys. They're like, movie stars kind of thing. But like, there is a lot like with the power to like do a lot of mental shit like that. You can really fuck somebody else up. Like you could do some really evil shit. Even
Yeah,
in
yeah, that's
even in EverQuest 2, they had the two distinct enchanter, forks in the road. They were essentially the same, but flavor wise, they were like there's an evil one and a good one. Um, so I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know like if there's a difference for us, like there is in EQ2. I feel like it's just lore, but even just having it in the lore allows for people to kind of role play those different
yeah.
venues as well, right?
And
So
and you know what? Like, nothing is stopping us down the line after release or whatever of doing like a evil enchanter look, you know, or like
yeah,
something that is like a little bit like, because when I thought enchanter and I saw like their kit, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, that's nice. But then I also thought like taking control of somebody's willpower and moving them, like, or like stopping them or whatever, like like that's fucked up. Like that's some evil shit actually, or can be some very evil shit. I love that. So
yeah. Yeah, with the whole lizard dude stuff too, like I was trying to like I've been trying to like kind of nudge them towards being less like the Ixar was, and the Ixar lore is all like they're pure evil kind of shit. Because I wanted to be like a lizard enchanted,
yeah.
but like it would even if we did if we went full evil lizard, like it could still work, I think, with all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Also, hey Nicodemus. Um, if you haven't, Nicodemus, go check out the. We're doing a duo stream at the moment, so you can. There should be a little link on the thing, so you can see both Zukin and myself.
um there should always be a reaction to a decision. Yeah, I mean, well, so it Fearbox, it's a matter of does it make a difference with the class, or does it make a difference with how people react to you? Like it
Mm.
could be like a faction thing. Like you just like when you turn in the note to the guy to be like a registered good guy or whatever, then it gives you like a load of faction with these guys and subtracts with these guys, and then instantly you're like the world reflects on you in a certain way. Um, so it could be done that way, and then we could also do maybe we'll do some like specific spells that require certain things or something.
Uh,
Um,
that would be cool.
like with the whole thing with the religion stuff. Um, I wonder if we'll do. I I I want to believe with like there's a whole opportunity for us to do religion based spells or something. I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I'm thinking back to fucking my time playing Fable. You know, that old Xbox game where you could be evil or you could be good. and just some spells were just straight up like locked behind being evil. Like like you could drain life, or you could like yeah, have someone like essentially charmed or whatever, and that was their evil thing, because it was like taking over, you know. And then like they were just good spells that you could not max out. I think you could have access to them, but you couldn't max them out unless you were evil or good aligned.
Yeah. Well, was that? I guess in Fable, at least, you would just do evil shit and then
Yeah.
unlock those. Um,
Every single like quest along the way had like lots of stops and stuff like that for you to go. Like, here you go. This is like your answer to this will either be evil or good, you know. And eventually, just through the story, they mathed it out, so you'd be like, if you chose this way the entire time, or if you know, chose this way, you'd be pretty evil. You didn't need to go out of your way to, like, I don't know, kill a bunch of faction or something, or kill a bunch of villagers or whatever. I think Jade Empire also did that, where they had the two swaps between Way of the Open Palm and Way of the Closed Fist, and you could only get like certain styles of like fighting depending on how far you went onto which one. And so like there was like this cool fighting style if you did a quest line that you could get, and that quest line, like whatever you did at the end of that or throughout it, you would get like a specific like style or whatever. And I'm not sure how they like finessed it, whether or not like you could just use it or you needed to be able to use it. But one of them was like, if you were Way of the Closed Fist or whatever, like one of the things where you just like had like pocket sand, you'd like throw it in their eyes.
someone watched too much King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Deity-based skills spells are always cool. Yeah, but like, I think yeah. So like, if we did something like that with deities, I feel like it would be very easy to. I mean, I'm not a coder, so I don't know, but logic would assume that like we could do something like that with factions too. Like, you know, you have to have a certain amount of faction with, you know, these good guys in order to cast the spell or whatever.
I know we plan on doing some really cool stuff with like factions that we already have, like everybody knows about the Ashira and everything, but there's also stuff planned for Flipside, and I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for all that faction stuff. Nicodemus asks, is there a limit of number of streams you can stream together? I don't think so.
Yeah, you know what, dude? One of these days, it'd be cool to get like more people. Maybe we could do like a play test and we just have everybody streaming.
Oh, that would be cool as hell. What about I feel like Nicodemus could honestly join us.
Yeah, man.
Well, you and Nicodemus were like on the same wavelength. Said the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think that would be a really cool way to experience like to watch the dev stream, playtest.
I also chose this layout for the link or whatever, just because then you have like both stream chats up or whatever. Though I think anybody can just go multi-stream and they can change the layout to like 1 or 2 or whatever the heck they want. Yeah, another time, Nicodemus. Another time. We'll get it. how much time I should spend on the bottom of the foot.
Oh, you want Ice Comet? You have to prove you won it by having max faction Ice Mage Guilds. Dude, Skyrim, I was like a lizard. I was the Argonian full mage, and I became the head of was it mage college, whatever it's called, like winter something, Winterhold, or I forget what it's called. Anyway, so I'm like, I'm fucking Dumbledoring that shit up, and every time I walk by like this one student, they're like, please, headmaster, take me on an adventure. I want to, experience the world, etc., etc. And I'm like, no, fuck off. And like, it got so annoying. Like, she did it every time. I'm like, fine, you can come with me. And so I went out. We went off into some caves. There was like some werewolves or something. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna blast these motherfuckers. And I like do like the double hand like fireball shit. And this bitch just like runs around me, runs right in front of me as I'm fireballing these werewolves, and immediately dies. Everything explodes and dies. And I'm like, oh, this fucking bitch. I'm like, well, so I guess I don't have to worry about her anymore. And then I go back to the college, and everyone's pissed off at me because she died. I'm like, what the fuck? They tried to like kick me out of the school. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? I was so pissed. Bullshit.
Like, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Do you know what I am capable of?
I don't know if you can kill everybody in that school, but I probably would have if they tried to kick me out. I was like, all right, fireball for you.
Grandmaster, he just snapped. There was a point in time where I don't know, I could enjoy like Skyrim a bit, and then like I don't know, something about me just got obsessed with like playing it like Morrowind. Like I just wanted to be able to read the text and figure out where I needed to go from the text, and then figure that out myself without there being a fucking map pointer or whatever. But the game is like wired that way, where there is no other option to play because they did not design for it. And if there's a mod out there that someone knows about that can like that just transfers like all the quests and has like write-ups or whatever for all the quests, that would be sick. But I just don't think it's in the books for me in Skyrim anymore. I got obsessed with it, and now I can't like undo it.
Like you want to be able to play Skyrim without GPS kind of stuff?
Yeah.
There's probably isn't there like a maybe I'm thinking of Assassin's Creed, but there's like a like when you start the game, it's like what mode do you want to play it as, and one of them is like none of that stuff.
I think Thief came out with something like that.
I want to believe that there's got to be a mod for that for Skyrim too.
Yeah, there has to be some fucking mod for it, but I couldn't find one. So I mean, if somebody else finds one or sees one or whatever, then or knows of one, please let me know. Also, I fucked up. Okay. This ankle needs to be far more back.
I remember EverQuest fireballs you used to be able to intercept and take the damage or accidentally hurt somebody. Yeah, I don't know how those worked. I don't think I think ours function more like WoW type stuff where it's just visually flying. It's not actually flying. can't get hit by them.
I was pitching at one point to Nick that we could like if you're like in a group or something that was it people could line of sight you if you're an archer. And that'd be kind of fun because then you could like your gameplay is essentially like trying to find like a good line of sight to just like shoot from, and also like position yourself in the correct distance away or something. I think that would be cool as hell, but I don't know if we're gonna go that route or not. I'm really excited for the archer actually. Lots of cool mechanics that I think we want to try out.
Yeah, the archer definitely needs more stuff right now, I think.
Yeah.
I want it to be a class that stands on its own.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I'm like really excited for is like if we can get it so like there's like a sweet spot distance per spell or something, or not per spell but maybe like per stance, because then you could like stand like 15 yards away or whatever versus like 20 and do like a little bit more damage just based off of like how far away you are. But it might be annoying if we do that with campfires or whatever.
You know, what'd be cool is if like there was like a height advantage. You did a little bit more damage if you're higher on the Z plane.
Oh
and then you
man.
could give like you could do like a like let's say you're in Wormsbane, you're on one of those inclines, you just kind of shooting down the stairs or something. That'd be cool. Or if you'd have to like if you're out in the wilderness, you'd have to like kite something around and then get it positioned so that you have the high ground, Anakin. Or even like if there was some way to craft like a box to stand on.
Dude, that's
Can
actually
the archers?
they just immediately get like worse off.
Yeah. I think goblins probably the shortest. Oh no, halflings can be archers too, right?
Yeah. Goblins and halfling archers. Dude, ogre archers.
Dude, tree
shit.
climbing. That's one of the 3 Ps.
Yeah. Yeah, actually.
What, dude? Okay, all right. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. We got an idea here.
Hey, Nick.
So you know how we have gnomes riding ogres. What if we have like halflings riding tree-formed druids? What a fucking combo that would be. Because like halflings can already be druids and archers. That would make like a duo pair right there. That'd be like one of those meta groups or something. Small race could ride wolf form. That's tempting.
That's tempting.
Yeah, imagine if treeform was climbable, and then you basically would have everyone would want a druid with them because that's basically like a mobile ladder. You could like climb anything. That'd be so OP. These are great ideas. Been up here. Too bad Nick's not here.
Alright.
Druid tank spec to get the tree form. Archers Rangers have a perch skill.
Oh, perch is kind of cool. I like that. I'd love it if it was like a mud action or something that only they had access to.
So I didn't know, I guess the stances have been in a while at this point. And it wasn't something that I thought we were doing early on, but I'm not against it. Actually, I think they're pretty cool and there's a lot you can do there. I think if we really pushed it, like Vanguard had a lot of stances and stuff, and they did a lot of interesting things with them actually. And I think it'd be cool to push that to that extent, or close to that extent anyway. Have like I mean the perch could even be just like a stance. Like it's like a stance that you put yourself in, and you basically can't move. It's like a root, but you do more damage. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's actually a very simple but very interesting mechanic right there.
Yeah, I like that.
Because then you can't kite, right? So that
Yep.
would actually be better for being in a group.
Yep. Okay, fucking write these down. Write these down, people. Yeah, the one of the things that I had suggested as well for Archer was some sort of like armor, or not armor, arrow knocking or whatever. So it takes a little bit of like preparation to do stuff. You can't just go like often, like if you know that you're going to be doing damage in a bit, right? You have like, or for a bit, then you like knock your damage arrows, and then it means that you can just shoot those arrows like no problem. And if you want to do a different like a stun or something like that, you would knock your stun or your CC arrows or whatever, it's your stance, and then that means that you have to kind of preemptively do it instead of do it like reactively. And I thought that would be like pretty hard, but also pretty cool. And I guess the timing would also have to play into it, but it would make them a little bit more thought. Make their gameplay a little bit more thought-inducing than just like when I see thing, I do thing.
Would that mean you have to knock every arrow, or is that just like
No, it'd be like grouped or something. So there's like damage arrows, or like CC arrows, or like or something like that.
would that be kind of like how you memorize a spell? Would you have to like be basically kind of memorizing your arrows and then you'd use them and then go away, and you'd have to like re-knock a bunch or something?
No, I'd imagine it would just be like um like a stance that you cast or something.
Oh, okay.
And so it'd be like one cast bar away, right? But if you know you're going to be doing a lot of it, then
okay. I think I see what you're talking about. So it's like you're kind of switching from doing damage arrow to like CC arrow or something. You can't like just reactively fire different types of arrows.
yeah. And so it takes just a slight bit amount of planning and getting used to things, right? When you're polling, you go, okay, I'm polling. I need to do this, and it puts you in a little bit more danger and gives other classes a little bit more like what's it called, prevalence there for like stuns or roots or whatever. Because you have to, unless you're really good. If you're a really good archer, then like you'd see that shit coming, and you'd knock your right arrows, and you'd be fucking on point.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think it would be cool if that was something that you could do while moving. So you could like
Yeah.
take some time, but you could still kind of do your kite, and then you could like you like switch to like the aimed arrow or the perch or whatever, and like maybe you would like add like some cast time to your arrow fires, but you do more damage.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That sounds pretty dope actually. I'd play that.
There's like you could do like a short ranged something or other, and then like a perch, and then like a CC, and have those be like three stances that you have to sort of knock before you. And it doesn't mean it changes your spells or whatever. Like World of Warcraft, when you change your stances, you have like a full new fucking like bar or whatever. It would just like affect those spells differently, or like sort of lock them out, or whatever. Not affect those spells, but abilities, I guess, because archers have abilities, not spells.
Yeah.
I also fucking okay, Archer. You know how we're talking about different types of um enchanter like looks or whatever. I feel like we could bring back like the first Archer concept as well, that more Robin Hoodish, you know, and then have the current one that I've done, the more Mongolish, like be the other. And so there's like multiple takes on like on a single type of gear. I'd imagine we could do that with Paladin too.
If you did that, I would suggest taking the Mongol one and pushing it a little bit darker.
Yeah.
Because like to go back to like EverQuest, because like EverQuest 2, they have all their classes have a good and evil split, right? So like the ranger, they don't have an archer, but the ranger is the archer kind of. They have the ranger is the good guy, is the Robin Hood, and their evil version is called an assassin actually, and so it's kind of like a. I mean, it's they don't they have some archery, but they're a lot of like dagger and poison as well, so it's not a full thing. But I don't know if you ever watched any of the Flash TV series or the Arrow TV series, any of those ones?
Oh, no,
I watched
no.
all of them because I'm a fucking nerd. But they have like a dark archer. He's like a spooky black man with a black arrow and all that shit. It's pretty cool looking actually. You know, it'd be interesting to like. You probably don't want to go full tilt, um, but just kind of basically a rogue, like a roguish archer, would be kind of neat.
We could probably get a lot of that with what's it called, with our LARPs.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Just take the Robin Hood one, tint it black, and stick a new hat on there. Even.
Yeah. And he can be like the civilized rogue or whatever. How many fingers do were rats have? 5, I guess. 5. They'd have 5. They wouldn't lose a finger in transformation.
Well, I mean, they could.
Maybe that's the difference between rat men and were rats. Rat men could have 3 fingers. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Before I jump ahead of myself, what's the painting that I did? How many fingers did I give these guys?
Rogue healing throwing daggers. That's a pretty cool idea, actually.
Oh, I did give rat men 3 fingers.
I think like a healing arrow or some sort of something like that is interesting. And part of me is like, yeah, but another part of me is like, well, why don't we just make a new healing class that's kind of like a blood mage or something, where it's like full tilt, like damage healing kind of thing.
I feel like Defiant Possum's onto something. If you were to give a heal or something, you would do that through like first aid, and maybe you just have throwable healing potions.
Yeah. Yeah, let's steal more of his ideas. Coating an arrow with aloe vera, shooting at your tank.
I think what's it called? Both Ranger and Archer could get a whole lot of like what's the right word? Like you get a whole lot of variance
Utility?
out of variance of utility out of like I don't know, having it reagent specific. You know, where like you require a certain reagent to make a certain arrow, and you need to prep those arrows, and it's sort of like them dealing with spell books. It's like arrow types that require, you know, like slime of a frog. You're like, okay.
So that's an interesting idea. I'd be curious because so here's the thing. I'm not a player who enjoys managing reagent type shit. Like I don't play rogues because I don't want to deal with like managing
Poisons? Yeah.
poisons and shit. But I feel there's people who do like that, I assume. So that would be if that's the case, that sounds like a good way to add more to the archer in that fashion. Enchanters don't use teeny daggers, they use charm. You don't need no teeny daggers for that. Well, what you really need, though, more than teeny daggers, are the paradots or whatever for your rune spell, so your charmed pet doesn't like murder you. But like, you just buy like 10 stacks of that shit, and you go off for a month, and you're good. You don't have to really manage that. Unless you're really bad, like I am. I don't know.
Apparently you're not bad. You're a killer enchanter, apparently. Wasn't that the your last group in Eminem?
I think he's just trying to get the servers turned back on or something. Talking me up, so I'll go turn the server on.
If Eminem came out today, which race class would be your main?
Oh man. It's hard to say that now because I feel like there's certain mechanics that we've talked about that sound really cool for certain classes that we're just not there yet for. I really like a lot of the tanks that we have. Like Shadow Knight is always fun. The Warrior looks pretty cool, and some of the stuff that's going into him sounds like it's cool. I still need to try some new stuff.
Yeah, me too.
But you know, Enchanter is always like my boy. And there are certain things that Nick's talked about, and even like it's in game actually. You guys have messed with the Enchant Ally. I think that's a cool system that I want to see expanded upon more. I think it has great potential to be really cool. So I don't know, but it doesn't have a lot. Like right now, it's like it feels like it's more of like a testing out the system thing. So it doesn't really do much.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what this is. I'm like thinking about where the hell this is on like the hand. I'm like, what did I just paint? I think this is the knuckle.
Yeah, it's the front knuckle, it looks like.
Alright, we'll give it this instead of whatever the hell I gave it.
Is it the top of it? Yeah, it's the knuckle. Yeah, okay. That makes what?
What does that look like? Oh, it did not update. Oh well.
It's like everyone's talking about the survey being close to being done. So we are at 972 votes with 14 hours left on the survey.
Oh, we'll get there.
I'm surprised we're so close to it. I mean, we have like close to 10,000 people in the Discord though, so 1,000 votes should be doable.
Yeah, that's what I think is on Sean's mind recently. Actually, is yeah, sure, we got all these people in the Discord, but how much of them are active? And it makes me think of like the last time, you know, or like I have a lot of followers on Twitch, but all of it came from a fucking like almost like a very, very distant past where they don't even know who I am. Like, they probably don't even frequent Twitch anymore, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I keep getting a lot of like just these bots liking me on Instagram. It's just been a weird like influx of cam girl, OnlyFans bots trying to get your attention.
Dude, freaking on Twitter, I don't know what the hell's going on with Twitter recently. You go on any thread, like it's unrelated, and there's just like a grocery store robbing or something, and then it's just like in the comments or should have gone to my grocery store, and then it's just like an OnlyFans. It's just like fuck off.
Have you heard of dead internet theory?
Yeah, dude, I fucking watched.
It's feeling a lot more
like that.
Likely.
Yeah. Fuck. That creeps me out.
Not a lot of people understand community projects. They just join and wait for the release or big news. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame people for doing that. Like, we're a project that we're at least a year out from any meaningful like thing, right?
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't really follow other game projects as well. Like, I do the same shit, so it's like I'm not even mad.
There's like it goes both ways, because there's like people that are like, I've been waiting for this for 10 years, and you're like, no, you're not. You haven't been fucking sitting there waiting for something for 10 years. You've been living your life doing other things, and every once in a while you'll check in. Like, you haven't been waiting for 10 years. That's sort of my... There's a little bit of it, but when you're like really involved or whatever, but so I don't blame them either.
Divine Possum, we're pretty close, so maybe. How many? That's probably pretty cheap, right? Maybe one of these other bots will come in with a link to get more bots, and we'll be set.
Dude, okay, fucking, I don't know if there was this competition, this art competition for Fable Legends. I don't know if you guys remember Fable Legends. It was this asymmetrical game. And I did this mask design, and I thought it looked super rendered, but it just fucking sucked. The mask design was awful, to be completely honest. It was highly rendered, but it was an awful mask design. It was so awful. And someone else came up with a better design, and whoever wins gets into the beta. You know? And I was excited because I was like, I'm gonna fucking win. But then I was getting crushed in the polls, you know, because it was like a voting thing on like Facebook or whatever. And then I woke up like the day of, and like my fucking thing just got like 200 more votes. And I was like, sick, sure, fucking why not? And then I won, and I was like, looks like there was a surge, and someone posted somewhere, and no, my friend fucking botted it for me. Without telling me. And so I just thought, like, you know, this was like years later. And I was like, dude, thanks to him I got to actually play Fable Legends. Yeah, truly, what a bro. I didn't deserve it, but Kaludar. How did you guys learn to do art? Did you teach yourselves? I'll let you start, sir.
Well, it's a little bit of both. I think, you know, art is a matter of observing and replicating what you see. So, some extent, you're always going to teach yourself, but I think people kind of telling you better ways to replicate that stuff helps a lot. I went to college for art, for 3D art specifically. So I was taught some stuff. I wouldn't say, you know, I think you and I both have issues with art college.
Yeah.
What I learned there, I don't know. I felt like there was a lot of self teaching involved still, but I don't know, man. It's hard to say, but I think I don't know. I've learned a lot from like tutorials and people teaching me stuff, but like you don't get anywhere if you don't apply any of that anyway. So you gotta like take that knowledge and practice, and that's kind of sort of self teaching in a way as well, I guess. That's a really shitty answer.
No, it's fucking right on point. It's like, yeah, did you teach yourself? It's like, in essence, you're always gonna kind of teach yourself, you know, like, just because, you know, the art teacher can say fucking like, hey, do these things, and then you do them or whatever, but it's up to you to like take those like lessons and be like, okay, I need to apply them here and remember them here, and, you know, like put in the effort, you know. So
yeah, I don't think there's ever going to be a situation where someone just tells you how to do a thing and then you're just like an amazing artist all of a sudden.
yeah, those sort of like, what's it called, that sort of like amazing artists like gains or whatever, I feel like those can happen when you take a look at, like, you know, your art philosophy or something, if like you change that up. But other than that, like when you're talking about skill or whatever, or like your technical ability, then yeah, nobody's gonna teach you that sort of thing. Yeah, I agree with that. I did university for a bit, and to be honest, I'm a fucking dropout because I never finished my 4th year. Because holy shit, did it piss me off. They're just a bunch of people that wanted to make mini versions of themselves, and I was having none of that. I wanted to paint goblins and fantasy art. So I do think that what's it called? We did a lot of like live uh life model sessions or whatever, and a lot of those helped. It helped me really like learn to see and appreciate, and gave me the time to appreciate like drawing from life. I didn't really appreciate it, but there is something quite special about drawing from life, and uh like I think for the couple years that I was in university, it was like it kind of went through like a full blur where I just like snapped out of it, and like 3 years had passed, and I had, I looked down on my sketchbook, and I looked up, and it was like, Jesus, look at all this time that's just like gone by, because I spent so much time just head down in my sketchbook for like just drawing people on the bus in class, that sort of thing.
So for your like figure drawing stuff, what was your experience for that? Like, was it just like they gave you the space and the model, and then you just did your thing, or was there any actual like?
They had some instruction there.
Okay.
So like they'd say, hey, this is going to be 30 seconds or whatever. I want you to focus on like the points of tension, or whatever, and you go, okay, well, what the fuck does that mean? Or they'd go, like, I want you to block it in from bottom to top, and then and so like you do. I think one of the biggest ones was general to specific, was because we were using Vine charcoal a lot. And Vine charcoal you can just like wipe off with your hand, and so they'd make us do like a general to specific, so you get something in like 30 seconds, and then we'd do another one, and instead of like flipping the page, we'd just wipe it off, and there'd be like a shadow of where it used to be, and it kind of gave you a little bit more, like, what's it called, like confidence in what you needed to work on next, because you could see like where you fucked up. So there's some good. I think the life drawing sections of university was some of the best university teaching that I've had, and it informed a lot in how I think about like learning art and everything.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm envious of that, because we had, it was a full digital school. It was like a focus on. Well, we had like a music program, and then like a digital 3D animation, digital art, game art thing. So it wasn't like a fine art school, but we still had like a figure drawing thing that was. I think that you took like one class that was like mandatory or whatever, but then they did it on the weekends, and that was entirely optional. But the problem was it was like so optional that like you got no instruction. It was just you show up and you do it yourself.
Oh yeah.
And like I don't know how like kind of like some sort of fucking tip like that would have helped, because like if you just go in there and you don't really know what you're doing, you're just like trying your best to like copy what you see in the amount of time or something, like that's not. I don't find that.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good useful things that you can get out of, like in our first course they had so this is like our introduction stuff. The fundamentals, so the first like 2 years were really good. Third year, well, and then where they gave a little bit more freedom but really tried to steer you in like, I don't know, like specific ways. And then fourth year, I don't fucking know because I didn't do free. But in the first year they did this thing that was super useful, which was they're like, okay, we have these bunch of like sticks, right? There's like these little branches or something. Oh, hold on, Dragon just
thank God you've returned.
Just fucking subscribed for 11 months. Hey Dragon, tier 1, thank you for the sub. So they gave us these sticks, right? And they were like flimsy, shitty tree branches. And we had this like really intense like ink. It was like Japanese ink or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter that it was Japanese, but it was like really potent ink. And we were told to stand like a meter away from our canvas, and we dipped the tip of this branch, which was this flimsy ass branch, and we had to paint like this, like I think it was like just some fern or something. Like it was like a plant in the middle of the thing, and there was so much control that was just taken away from us, but the end product looked fucking sick. Because like, it was so weird, where like I was so used to just like scribbling and like having so much control or drawing tiny, and then there was this polar opposite that they forced us to go through, which was like, hey, here's like what it's gonna look like, and the ink marks look fucking cool. And you could, and then we walked around the class, and everybody's stuff like looked really cool. And it was just like the mark of the ink and the confidence that people like were kind of forced to have, because you only had one shot at like a leaf, you know, if you wanted to draw a leaf. Yeah, and so that was like a huge lesson, and I feel like that lesson like like helped me throughout my years, because it was like the confidence of just drawing a line. Like I drew in pen for almost all of my like sketchbooks, and anytime that I wanted to draw a line, it wouldn't be like a sketchy line. I would just go, okay, here's a line, here's the bottom of the chin, and then okay, now I need to do the cheek, and it would just be a single line, and I just do that for all of my drawings, and so all my work came out a whole lot more confident than a lot of the previous years. And yeah, it was good. It was good. There was some good stuff that came out of it. As much as I bash on the later years, there was some really, really strong stuff.
Yeah, I think you'll always come like any experience, you'll come away with something of value. It's very easy to bash on art college.
Okay, how does this guy look? Let's take out these lines.
It's very fun to bash on art college, and I'll always do it, but you know, deep down we all know that there's something there. Still made us better.
Yeah.
In some way.
So alright, I might have to swap out and just hand it all over to Zukin, because I need to fucking eat something soon. I'll probably be heading out by 7. It's 6:45, 6:46 here.
Might do the same actually. I made some brownies yesterday, so I'm gonna eat all of those. New here to watching the design process. What's next for the Drake, or what are you working on? Hey, you're in both channels, right? Gearbox. I think I saw you in Goblins. Yeah, you're in both. So the next thing on the list, I actually have a to-do list here. Should show up. You should see it. So I think the Ratman is next on the overall to-do list. However, I'm not actually going to be the one doing that one. We got a new guy that's joined the team recently doing character art stuff, so I gave that one to him. And then Zach is doing the Tarantula right now, so we have Tarantula, Ratman in the process. And then for myself, I'm gonna finish up the Drake. I've still got a couple little bits and bobs I want to get done on him. And then there's a number of like character sort of, I guess, backlog things that I need to get through. Like, I'm still in the middle of upgrading, or I guess refactoring the cape situation. So I'd like to get that sorted out, and um, we're sort of like trying to do some final things with our lerp setup. So I think, just generally, like, I'm gonna do a lot of um, I guess under the hood, or like administrative kind of nonsense. Um, so so that's kind of my plan for probably this month. Take a little bit of a vacation as well in there somewhere. Um, but I think after that, I think the next thing on the list that I was gonna, like, the next new thing might be, pull up my list, my secret list that you guys can't see. I think it might be. I don't know if I should say, man. I don't know if I'll do this one on stream, actually.
Don't do it.
I don't think. I think it's so cool that I don't want to show you guys until you see it. Vacation? Where are you going? I'm going home and just playing video games. I don't know. I just need a break. I'm not going anywhere. I just
That's the
I need
best.
to eat brownies and play video games for a little bit.
That's the
Staycation.
best kind of fucking vacation, dude. I did that with fucking Dragon's Dogma 2 launched, and that I all I did was play that for a week. I didn't do any work. Nothing else. It was like, Jesus, lost myself, and it was great.
Yeah, man, you need that every now and then. I think because it seems like you and I both kind of like dive into stuff, so we don't really take breaks at in moderation like normal people.
Weekends. What are those? Kaladar says, how do you guys handle armor? Do you have to hand paint each armor set onto every race, or do you make the armor and it's like an overlay? We have a texture, or a character texture atlas that we paint the armor onto, and then that armor propagates through all of our playable races and some non-player races that we pick and choose. This race is not one of them. This race is, we did not do it on the player UV, but it's because it's sort of a test case for a different type of utilizing that, where we're gonna take like the pants, for example, here, and we're gonna see if, or this is the shirt. All right, the shirt. I mean, I thought that was the pants. And oh, hold on. And we're gonna see how we can map this shirt, for example, onto the player races. But after, so it's gonna be sort of like a retrofit sort of a thing. But yeah, we have all the armors essentially applied to all of our player races, and looks fucking sick.
I don't know if the new guy mentioned his name or not, but I'll just refer to him as the new guy for now. He actually showed me a feature in 3D Coat that I didn't realize was in here, but apparently you can bake a texture to a new model. So what I might try to do, actually, now that you're talking about this, is when you're done with this guy and his armor, I'm gonna see if I can just bake that. Well, maybe it won't work because the UVs are in a different spot, but I don't know. I might just try and see what happens and see if I can just straight up bake that texture onto the player model.
Oh, that'd be
See how it
cool.
goes. Yeah. Just bake it right onto Pedro.
This shirt ain't half bad, dude. I did a little bit of touching up on it, but it's pretty cool. I think I'd like to see this on other players.
Yeah, I kind of really want to take whatever we give these guys and make it a thing, because I feel like at least putting them on the smugglers, and then when they transform, they're still wearing the same thing. Like that just makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if we don't do it through lerping and all that shit, like, um, so yeah.
I agree. That's cool. All right. I think I need to. I'm passing out here.
Okay. I'll call it as well then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get food. So.
Alright, how am I gonna handle this turning? Oh, we need to find someone. We're gonna duo raid someone, dude.
Oh shit.
This is cool. Alright, who are we gonna duo raid? If you want to, and I know you don't have to, but if you want to, we can raid one of my friends, Snob Goblin. That or Big Primus MMOs also.
I'm cool either way.
Snob Goblin's playing the new Warhammer 40k, so you guys are into that.
I need to find him first. Alright.
/raid Snob Goblin. Alright, let me know. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you all for joining.
Hey man, thanks for the dual stream and everything. It was fun.
Yeah, dual stream is sick, dude.
Where's my end button then? There
Yeah,
we go.
just click my end button.
All right. Until next time, folks. Got a lot done today, and probably be back on Wednesday, just finishing this guy up. I think I'm gonna try and finish the Drake up this week. Any last bits and all that stuff. And yeah. Until then, have a good week. See you guys then. Eat some pizza and all that.
I'll
Bye bye.
I'm gonna raid here sooner, so then there's a little bit of a gap.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll go right after you.